My talk is about rediscovering the pearls, the lost pearls. And when I say lost pearls, you might think that I'm talking about oceanography or sea creatures, but I'm talking about the National Library. In Mogadishu, when the Civil War started, many institutions have been basically destroyed. One of those have been the national, universities, schools, hospitals, along with the National Library. The National Library actually is more like the Library of Congress, where all the archives, the national archives were held, where actually the history, the culture, the research, all of that were stored. But unfortunately, all those documents have been lost. Shabelle, one of the big hotels in Mogadishu, and this is before and after the Civil War. So you can see many of those destructions. The library will also help many children who are actually wandering on the streets today because they have nothing else to do. This is the National Library today, after the Civil War. Unfortunately, we were unable to find even pictures of the library before the Civil War because we couldn't, mainly there was nowhere to be found. There is a saying, mainly a gentleman called Dennis Conner have said, if you visualized, you can actualize. I'm planning, hopefully I'm visioning to have a modern library in Mogadishu. These are actually some of our own traditional things that have been, their history and how it's made have been lost. So we are trying to recover the cultural and the historic aspects of Somalis as well. This is the city of Mogadishu. As some of you know, Mogadishu has close to 2 million people. And also there are about 50,000 students in Mogadishu who do not have access to books aside from their school or home, if they do have any books at home. The library will also have a mobile library. Well, we will have a bus that will go to schools around Mogadishu, where, since Mogadishu is a big city, everybody doesn't have to come to the National Library. So we will deliver and serve them, the kids and those young people where they are. We want to also establish a culture of learning and reading. So we will have a campaign, Somalia Reads, because our tradition, mainly Somalis, are called to be oral society. So we really want the young children, the adults, to learn to read more. So they will come back to the library more often and get books and read to the children. There has been many young people who have been mainly child soldiers for different groups, whether it's Al-Shabaab, whether it's the warlords before them, and so on and on and on. So we really wanted those young people to have a place that they can have different things to do, such as computers, surfing the internet, and learning through that. We are also talking about having an innovation center where authors like Abdulatif can come and read, where young artists like Mahmoud can come and showcase their work, where basically producers can show their films. So there has been many people, elderly people, who have died and died with a lot of history, and nobody has ever recorded. And those are not something that could be recovered. So we want to have at least those elderly people to come sit in the library and teach young children as a storytelling, their culture and their history and what they know and their experiences. Our history and books have been lost, some of them in libraries around the world, university libraries, and some might have been lost forever. So we will have collection centers in many countries around the diaspora, especially countries that has a large number of Somalis. This is part of rebuilding Mogadishu. I have decided to come back to Mogadishu, but I wanted to come back doing something because I'm one of those people who really believe in you have to do what you can. I'm here to stay. Hope to see you at the library.